So it's week 6 and I'm deep into my keto and intermittent fasting journey. And this week's been interesting. I've been navigating perimenopause, the mid-cycle of my luteal phase, and I've even had a winter, even though it's not quite winter just yet, bug going around the house. So yep, it's been a week. But I'm here to give you an honest check-in because I started this whole challenge to show that there is another way, a natural, sustainable alternative to the injectable diet meds that everyone seems to be reaching for right now. So from my mid-40s onwards, I've just piled on what it feels like health problems: inflammation, weight gain, insulin resistance, low energy, memory lapses, brain fog, and even loss of muscle tone. And I know I'm not alone. More and more people my age, younger, older, are feeling similar, feeling the same. But instead of tackling the root causes, the trend now seems to be to turn to what could be seen as quick fix solutions, injectable diet meds that just have exploded onto the scene. Now, I'm really not here to judge anyone, but personally, I'm just really wary. I'm wary of the costs, I'm wary of the side effects, and honestly, like wary of what we don't know yet about the long-term risks. So I set up this channel to document my own journey, to show that a natural food-based fasting supported approach doesn't just work, it actually, I'm finding, just gets easier and easier the longer that I'm going into it. So let's start with the big wins from week 6. I've had no alcohol for 6 weeks. Now, I love a glass of, actually, I love a beer as much as the next person, but alcohol just really makes my perimenopausal symptoms, it just makes it worse for me. Messes with my sleep, drains my energy, and just leaves me feeling foggy, even just if I drink a little bit the next day. So having none in my system for 6 weeks has felt like a welcome and a relief to both my body and my mind. My cravings really are minimal. Even during the middle of my cycle, I've been surprisingly steady. I did get hungry on one of the days early in the week, around the 15-hour mark into the fast. But instead of pushing through, I listened to my body and I just broke my fast early. And I broke my fast with a high protein meal, and that made all the difference. My body measurements are down. I've dropped 2 dress sizes since I started this. My waist, my chips, my chest, my hips, my thighs, and my arms are all showing a massive reduction in inflammation. And that 4 pounds of water weight that I talked about last week, gone. I've built up a solid rotation of quick, delicious keto meals that have replaced my old carb heavy habits: pizza muffins, chaffles, and my new obsessions, poppadoms, which I discovered shop bought ones, plain ones, are often only 2.5 grams of net carbs each. Game changer for me. And I've even developed a breakfast cereal replacement recipe book that's just super easy and totally keto compliant. But now for the real talk. Not every week is perfect. I had about 3 days this week where my energy just really dipped. I felt tired, I felt moody, and I just didn't have it in me to do much exercise at all. Which the previous week, last week, I was jogging, I was doing yoga, I was getting up early. This week, I managed 3 days of resistance band training and a couple of long walks. So I was moving, but it definitely wasn't a high energy week. Still, my weight's stable, my body's adjusting, and I've learned that sometimes rest really is part of the process. Now, let's talk creatine. I will be doing a separate video on this, but here's the short version. I started taking creatine monohydrate after hearing how beneficial it can be for women over 40, especially for memory issues, muscle tone, and general energy. But I made two very classic mistakes. First, I jumped straight into taking 10 grams a day, too much too soon. And second, I took it on an empty stomach during my fast. Let's say it irritated my tummy like crazy, made me feel nauseous. And it took me 3 days to realise that it wasn't a virus that I'd come down with, it was the creatine monohydrate that was causing it. So now I've switched to 5 grams a day, taken after I break my fast. And honestly, it's early days because some are saying it can take 1 to 3 weeks to start feeling the effects, the positive effects of it. But I'm feeling good on this dose so far. Definitely feel my energy's getting higher again. So after those first few days of initial dips, I've managed a couple of 23-hour fasts this week, something that felt really impossible at the start of the week. And as my luteal phase started winding down, my energy came back, and those long fasts just felt natural and easy. My ultimate superfood right now are eggs. They are my go-to high protein quick meals, and they keep me full for hours. Since the start of this journey, I've been tracking everything: my sleep, my energy, my weight, my meals, and more recently I've brought in body measurements into that. And it's helping me to see real patterns, like how my energy dips mid-cycle, how my fasts naturally shorten when my body needs rest. And if you'd find it helpful, I've created a simple tracker template for anyone who wants to log their own progress like this. Just drop a comment below and I'll happily share it with you. So overall, week 6 has been about balance. I've come through the energy dip, I've listened to my body, and I've let go of guilt on the days that I needed to do shorter fasts. My clothes fit better every single day. I feel more in sync with my cycle, and what I eat is just becoming what feels like second nature. And even better, my family and friends are loving all the new keto-friendly recipes that I'm testing. And I'm adding them all to my YouTube Shorts keto recipe playlist, link above if you want to check that out. This lifestyle is starting to feel easy now. Like it's not just a plan anymore, it's just how I'm living my everyday life. So that's my week 6 keto and fasting update. If you've been following along, let me know in the comments how your own journey's going. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see how this continues in week 7 and beyond. Because next week I'll be in days 22 to 28 of my cycle, which Dr. Mindy Pelz calls the nurture phase. So I'll be easing back on fasting intensity. I'll be focused on more nourishment and showing you exactly how I adjust my approach to stay in sync with my hormones. Thanks for watching. See you next time.